Hey crew, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. This is a follow-up stream. So if you haven't watched where by proxy interviews Katie, you might want to head to the description and it says watch this video first. Click there and then you can come back and watch this. But if you, and if you have seen it, congratulations for getting through that. We're going to move on to some more shit. So this shit show is from 2019, 7th of September, and it's Katie reacting to her own interview with By Proxy Productions. Yeah, she says Productions. I'm like, maybe I'm not professional. I didn't use the whole name. Let's see what she's gonna, do and stuff. Really, my intros, I've got to work on this. Anyway, how's everyone going? Really, I should just get my shit together. But here we go.
I can't think. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, I can't. What am I supposed to do?
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. I'm surprised are you still here? Should I cut that intro out? Obviously, I haven't got it nailed. Why can't I just be like a normal person and have my shit together? But I feel like I have my shit together more than the shit flinging person that we cover. So that kind of makes me feel better, even though she's a fucking strain on your brain. Because it just does my head in every fucking time. I can't understand how anyone like her has got through life with no fucking self-awareness. Surely your husband would tell you. But okay, this is off topic. Is it though? Is it? Okay, guys, before we get into it, I just need to remind you that that my microphone has fallen, but I'll fix that in a minute. This is all my own opinion, as we all know, as it's everyone's opinion. Gosh, this is going terrible. Why does my brain check out every time I'm going to do a KJ stream? It just really leaves me hanging with no fucking clue. Okay, let's all do a big breath. In the description box below, guys, that's where you want to head because that's the timestamps, okay? And that makes everything great. You can just skip all my fucking bullshit, all my fails, you can skip past. And I really say the replay the replay crew, they're really living their best life. Anyway, and you can find extra info, stuff that doesn't come out of my mouth is usually down there, and links to the Cacti contributors. Yes, they are the members and they get extra stuff, plus that darn badge, which, fuck, it's great. I want one. They get shout outs too. Yeah. Who is it? Who is it? I'd really like a piece of angel cake. Hey, is that from The Sims? Have we discussed this? Cactus high five. Cactus high 10 to angel cake. Thank you so much for being a Cactus contributor, Cacti contributor. I see so many issues here that we could go down, but we're here for this. And I'm glad to have, not glad. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. And I wish that I could have done that better. Let's see if I can do this stream better. Come on, brain. Yeah, my brain wants cake now. Fucking off the rails. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this is the follow-up stream. We've already done, we watched the interview that Katie wanted taken off YouTube. And so it was the, by proxy, and her name's Fancy. And she, covered the whole Gypsy Rose thing. But yeah, you should watch the stream where we reacted to it, or I reacted to it. And then we're going to do this one. And Katie wasn't happy then, and she's still not happy now, although this is 3 years ago. But God, stuck in the fucking carousel from hell. So I can't imagine much has changed. Okay, guys, and I know that I've dribbled on it a lot, but I was going to make a pit stop before we watch the video. But I need to have a drink, and I'm just going to bring it up because this is what timestamps are good. We're going to go to my Twitter, and I actually posted, when Katie was, she did that Facebook post about the Texas mum, what's her name? Something Spears. Was it Casey? Are they all called Casey? Oof. In the MBP, Munchausen case from Texas, and the lady overdose of salt. So when Katie tried to, change directions and say these women, I know, I can see them, I know their characteristics, and I'm like, well, if you know so much, why the fuck do you share what they share? And so I did a little I'll bring it up. I've got to take a gulp of water, and then, yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I had to censor some stuff, but because his mum doesn't. Oh, yeah, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, I have to just become more present back on Twitter. I need to make time. That's my problem. Yeah, it's at It's Crystal Bill. So my first tweet was, Katie has so much to say about MBP mums, yet refuses to acknowledge her own red flags. Just saying, self-awareness is crucial. KJ, 100%, you're always exploiting your child every chance you get, in my opinion. And so if you don't know, Katie covered the Schofields. I think it was Susan Schofield had MBP back in 2019. They went on Dr. Phil, and there's 2 children involved. And she said they all had these psychological disorders. I can't remember. Was it schizophrenia? I can't remember exactly what they were, but she was basically overdosing her children. I mean, giving them way too much meds to mimic the symptoms. And Katie started covering it in the first half of 2019, and she got all her information from, I think it was either LOL Cow, I don't know, is it LOL Cow, or Kiwi Farms. I think it's Kiwi Farms, because I think I've mentioned this. It's really funny how they say her articles are like a child wrote them. And it is. But anyway, so this is just a little cropped bit of the article, of one of the articles that she wrote. And it says, another troubling video she shared was of Bodhi in the shower. During the video, Susan walks into the bathroom and films her son taking a shower. She cheers him on for doing something for himself. However, viewers of the video found the content an invasion of privacy. I feel like I sound out of breath, and I am. And so this is from Katie's Facebook, and she's only just removed all these photos. I can't remember who it was on Instagram. Like there's so many people that are calling her out, but yeah, brought her attention to all the photos. Then it was only just like this year in May or something. But yeah, this photo is from the 9th of June 2014, and it's her son in the bath. And there's another one from April 24th, and it's her son in the bath. But she left these up. Like, how dumb is your mind? Also, I continue in the next one. Without a crystal ball, has no issue sharing her son's meds. Katie has always put her son in danger by oversharing. In my opinion, Katie has fed predators. She's completely unaware and still does nothing to rectify the situation. Her son's whole life is online. Put there by his own mum. It's just like, why, you took him down off Facebook. Oh, man. The amount of time that, because like I've said, I can check the data and stuff behind the image. The amount of times the fucking images have been shared. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, so and these are old ones. She doesn't care. She's doxing her own doctor and the psych and all this. Look at all this, meds. Oh my God. This is my stash. Happy to share this too. So this is from November 2017. Katie's Facebook post says, "It's the little things. Graduating to youth diapers and ones for overnight protection. I cannot wait for no more leaks at night. Some parents get sick of diapers. I'm just glad our insurance covers them and is nice and dry. What's your little thing you appreciate?" And then there's I've cropped another bit from an article that she wrote about Susan from Pathios, and it says, Susan, oh my God, come on, brain. Susan shares on social media all of the medications she has Bodhi on. She has been attempting to get him on a cocktail of mood stabilizers and antipsychotics for years. On Facebook, she consistently shares about the desire for Bodhi to be on a cocktail of, and then she just lists 3 drugs, a subreddit dedicated to exposing the family and Susan's abuse. But, yeah. One thing I do like about the subreddit of Katie's is that they don't allow speculation of this, which fair thing, but I mean, gosh, wake up. I feel like I need to say this for her son, because it's got to the stage where who is speaking for him? And if you have followed me on Twitter, you've seen me battling with my own morals. But another crop of an article. Oh, have we done that bit? No, it says, on social media, Susan plays the victim card well. Just needs to be highlighted. She consistently discusses the conspiracy that UCLA doctors are withholding the proper diagnosis of Bodhi. Susan says the director of the UCLA program has trained the entire staff, and therefore none of them are objective and capable of diagnosing her son. Okay, you remember when there's a post, you say that you know more than the doctors because you've gone home. Oh yeah. So when Katie rocked up on TikTok, yeah, this was one of her posts. And it says on the screen, she's got the boil. This is for people that aren't looking at the screen, and thank fuck. You are going to thank yourself right now that you are not looking at the screen, because we are in Boyleville. Yeah, with the Band-Aid though, and the swollen eyes, I'm still beautiful. It's okay. I've got self-awareness. And then this is the fucking, what kind of mother writes this, right? I watched my son stop breathing. Told he wouldn't survive. I've gone through 4 brain surgeries and open heart surgery with him. What? Do you want me to read it again? Well, if you're not looking at the screen, you can come back and look at the screen one day, but not now. Yeah, I wrote, without a crystal ball, likes to claim that she took care of her medically fragile child by herself until he got full-time nurses at 3, or it might have been 4. God, I get so confused with the years. She's mushed my brain. And then I was like, yeah, lie. This is all my opinion, guys. Like I said at the beginning, she used to blog about V in daycare. He was in daycare and shared all the pictures. She used to, blog about V in daycare, shared pics, and then he was too sick and no daycare will take him. Enter feeding tube equals nurses. And then that's when she started writing as well, like full time. That's her job. I don't want to read it. I'm going to have to, aren't I? I need to get a drink. Let's have a breathe. So this is from October 28, 2020. I don't know who she's talking to, but must have been someone, anyone really, trying to bring awareness. Katie, I'm only trying to bring awareness to you for a little boy that has no voice, for a mother that doesn't sense boundaries and has no fucking, you don't protect your son. When people come at you, you're like, but I'm a medically fragile child's mum. And then you wear your adrenal insufficiency or hope for Von's shirt to try and manipulate people just because you don't have a heart, in my opinion. You know, it's just me. Or maybe I should have sing this whole thing. Okay, here we go. This is what Katie's Facebook post from October 2020. How about how last week you shared an old article I wrote about my son, which included a picture of my son. Every fucking article you fucking did was 2 or 3 pictures. You couldn't get enough. That's his photo album. His photo album is online in the articles that you wrote. I don't think you have a physical album because remember, Katie, remember your basement video going through photos and stuff in an old box of things that you were going to throw away. You found your ultrasound pictures. Yeah. So just what? And you didn't see the alarm in that? Okay, sorry. I didn't get very far in reading her shit before I just spewed. Does anyone else's brain tune out when you see the word narrative and you're just like, oh, yeah, here we go. Which included a picture of my son and used this to push a narrative that I neglect my son. Another defamatory statement that is categorically false. Oh, it's a good grammar day today. Not to mention the article is not about forgetting how to parent. It's that he requires so much care that we don't always get to do the fun things kids do. Oh, fuck. How about the reality that his sole carer. His sole caretaker at the time and for more than 7 years. So until he was 7. What? Bullshit. But that doesn't fit your narrative, does it? Nope. It's because of you and your friends that I'm accused of abusing and neglecting my son daily. But then if I talk about a child, E.T. quote fingers, kids are off limits. How dare you share that? Why is my son's life a topic of your channel when he's not on my channel, and I don't even show photos of him online. Fucking knock, knock, knock. It's me, self-awareness, knocking at the front door of the PAULSON house. Oh, I should be knocking on the upstairs window though, shouldn't I? You're not going to come down and answer the door for some self-awareness. You wouldn't even open the door for a cease and desist. Both doses of reality. You're yelling at people for you. The amount of stuff out there on your son is ridiculous. Have you Googled your name yet, man? Like, for years, well, not for years, because really last year, but I've been saying paint your walls. Now I'm just like, Google your name. But do you not care? I don't think you care. Even if you Googled your name, I think that you would think you're popular and think that, oh, that's just all trolls. Worldwide. Blah, blah, blah. Did I finish it? It's not a topic of my channel. Oh, P.S. I covered his face with the doggy. You didn't. I've got receipts like this for days. And then trash can. Trash. But you talk about your son most of the time in there. Now you got trash. Okay, fuck. Oh, yeah, that's him at daycare. Just to prove the point. Oh, here we go, Crunchy Mum. I know. Are we even going to get to what we came here for? Should I just link this? When Katie was saying that she's like going at Dre for all these herbs and like natural treatments and stuff. Here we are when Katie was in her fucking Crunchy Mum phase. And she's like pushing this like balm that treats bites and stuff. Oh my God, should I continue? I feel like we're going to be here for years. Let me check back to chat. What do you think, chat? Should I continue reading this and just change the stream thumbnail? Or should we get on to what Katie said? Oh my God, what have I started? Halfway through, my mouth is also agreeing with my mind. What are we doing? Oh man. Okay. I'm just looking at those words going, I need another drink. Okay, well, that was a big drink. Might be ready to take this on. Okay, so this is another tweet of mine. Same thread. I've actually linked this down below, so if you wanted to go check it out without my voice and just have your internal voice reading, don't worry, I know I'm annoying. I fucking shit myself. Like, fuck, you try living with me. Okay. Yes, Katie, I know I'm crazy. Okay, so once KJ found the special needs mums groups and saw what she could get from the government, she started sharing all that too. In my honest opinion, Katie Joy has always been her son's biggest disability, from her negative words to her misunderstanding, born without parts of his brain, is stuff she used to say. And yeah, oversharing. So here we are. It's another good day. It's Christmas at the Katie PAULSON house. October 2017, Katie's Facebook post. Raise your hand if shipment day from your DME is as exciting as Christmas. Wow, that's a lot of hand raising. 5 hands in the air. And then, yeah, hashtag special needs mums club, my tribe. You've never found your tribe. You write an article about that. All I ever wanted was to find my tribe, but no one likes me. Yeah, and then this is her applying for the stuff. Obviously, she's going through Von's hospital records from January 2013. Oh, I got the post. This is August 2014. Fon's hospital records from 2013 to present. So a year. Katie, it'd be like 18 months. Reading doctors' notes and assessments of our feelings is sobering, annoying, and hilarious. I'm described as adamant a lot. Well, when I know more about the darn disease than the doctor, you bet your ass I'll be adamant. Where's the exclamation point? They also almost didn't diagnose him with, that's the hypopituitarism. Google pronunciation. My best friend. That's who I credit for being able to saying shit. Anyway, because the first endocrine doctor felt it was, fuck. My brain's checked out. Improbable based on his good muscle tone. But you talk about that he doesn't have muscle tone because he can't eat properly. Genetics doctors thought he had an unusual appearance. He was on a ventilator. Unbelievable how doctors can be so clueless. Okay. However, our favourite doctor's notes were always about concern and getting to the root of the issue. We refused to let them drop the lethargy and low energy, turns out. Okay, went to the same school as Janelle. I swear. Is that the end? Oh, yeah, and then I just fucking... Why the fuck doesn't your husband say anything? Okay, should we just now move on? Yes, we're going to move on. I feel like that took too long. Maybe that should have been at the end. I feel Fancy has been waiting for over a fortnight. It's okay, Fancy, we're coming. I want to do an interview with Fancy and ask her, why are you so fancy? Or like everywhere she goes, does, you know, the song Fancy? Is it Fancy? No. By Fergie. It's not Fancy by Fergie. It's something else. Fabulous or something. She's in the cloud. She's in an aeroplane. Is it Fabulous? Oh, fuck my brain for checking up. Because this is important. We want to know this information, not what we're about to watch. I'm just taking a fucking load. It's been a while since we've seen this name. People who are looking at the screen or not. Dreadlocks. They had a falling out. He really does have dreadlocks, by the way. Oh, God, I thought I permanently scarred you with the highlight. I'm talking to dreadlocks. Okay, so we're just going to press play. I don't know why I'm waiting. I felt like I needed to wait. What's going on? Why is it loading like it? Why? Look, I can... Whoa, that was huge. No, don't. I'm not talking about you. Go back to questioning whether you have crystal balls or not.
So
wait
so
for me.
She's saying that I'm reacting so
Oh my
poorly.
God, have I broken my screen? It's just stuck there now.
I'm just so stupid that I couldn't figure out that she had 12 convictions and
oh my God,
GYPSY'S signature.
My computer is slower than a snail. Why? Why is it slower than a snail? Okay, we're going to watch her and we're going to bring it back to the beginning. Oh, you know, I hate how she shares DMs. Like, that's not proper. Even in her Schofield article, I think she interviewed Michael Schofield. Shit. Oh, look at how welcoming the couch is. Oh, look at you praying. Thought and Katie. Okay. This looks like a good place. Am I going to be in the way down here? Let's hope not. Yes, okay. This is why timestamps are great. Okay, fuck. Let's all breathe.
Hello, everyone. It's Friday night, TGIF. I hope you guys have your cocktails and popcorn ready because we're going to talk about the SHIT storm I walked into by accident yesterday and what I woke up to today and dealt with this afternoon, which in my career, I've dealt with a lot of unstable people. I have written stories about a woman that literally thinks cabbage will make you regrow limbs and cure your homosexuality. I have written about men who lead massive anti-vax groups and con parents to make them donate money to GoFundMe's to fund his lifestyle. I've dealt with a doctor who works in like another country that literally thinks she can cure autism but has no credentials. I've covered a lot of loons in my time, and I've got after and maybe exposed a lot of people. Typically when I'm looking at an exposing type or investigating something, it's something that I'm doing intentionally, not accidentally. And I had to say that what happened to me yesterday was sort of walking into an accidental scam fest and imposter. And it all happened because I thought that I was talking to someone connected to Gypsy Rose Blanchard, someone that I've covered extensively on my blog on Pathios and on my YouTube channel. And it's a case that I've been interested in because if you know me, I am someone that is fascinated with individuals that have a disorder called fictitious disorder imposed on another, which is the current DSM-5 word for the former Munchausen's by proxy. Now, a lot of people still refer to it as MBP because that's how it's more well known. And for that purpose, I guess we can just call it that since that's what you guys know. So I believe I had been covering another case that actually isn't necessarily MBP by a woman named Susan Schofield. Now, her case actually they're not sure that she actually has it. It's more that she might have undiagnosed or she has diagnosed bipolar disorder that isn't being treated, and her abuse of her children could maybe be more related to her paranoia and delusions from her illness. Now, in the case of Dee Dee Blanchard and Gypsy Rose Blanchard, experts were never able to diagnose her. However, she meets a lot of the criteria of an individual with Munchausen's by proxy because she is a caregiver who had a nursing background, who seemed to like the attention and accolades that she got of caring for a child that was ill. She fabricated illnesses and put her child through numerous procedures in order to gain sympathy and attention for caring for and being the martyr to her daughter. But Dee Dee is interesting because she is also a malingerer. And a malingerer is someone that fakes and feigns illness to gain financial incentive. Dee Dee was very good at this, and she was able to obtain a home through Habitat Through Humanity and use her con to get all kinds of cash and benefits and services for her daughter that actually had through humanity and use her con to get all kinds of cash and benefits and services for her daughter that actually had literally nothing wrong with her. Unique and services and put her child through numerous procedures in order to gain sympathy and attention for caring for and being the martyr to her daughter. But Dee Dee is an interesting sort. Was able to obtain a home through Habitat Through Humanity and use her con to get all kinds of cash and benefits and services for her daughter that actually had literally nothing wrong with her. It's a unique case because as well, Dee Dee was killed by her daughter Gypsy.
Thank you so much, Katie, for that over exaggeration there. I loved it. You were so happy, so joyful. That's what you did, isn't it? Jumped from group to group, special needs parenting, till you found the tubies. Yeah, tubie mum. Well, Katie, I recently found, because I've made a video on your feeding, not your feeding tube, but your feeding tube preparation, and it's fucking questionable. I'll link that below, but I found the original video that I made that video of. And I'm thinking we should rewatch it just to, you know, show this is a woman who, now that she's in the tubey feeding group world, she's a pro at that too, teaching everyone. But is she really a pro, or is she putting her son at danger? Well, that video is fucking shocking. Yeah, you took it down, but I got there first, okay? There's got to be evidence to show. Because I don't know. I don't feel like you're... I feel like you're your son's biggest disability. That's all I can say. Should we jump ahead to when...
Gypsy and Nicholas go to John. Okay, so a lot of people will say, well, it's not that different, or it's this or that or whatever. Okay, so in my experience, I've covered about 8 of these cases. Dee Dee's pretty typical. And the cases I've covered of adults that come out of this, I've had people that have reached out to me and said, hey, I'm 26 years old and I literally just left my house because my mom had this, or, you know, it's a really, it's a lot more prevalent than you would think. And the women seem to share the same patterns. And Dee Dee had a lot of those same patterns. And because of my interest in it, I covered Gypsy. Now, I never intended to actually be a part of the story. I never intended to get to know any of the people involved. I simply was a wide-eyed view and researcher of the case, not necessarily involved in groups or anything like that. And in July, an article in Touch magazine was reported that Gypsy had become engaged, and a photo of her boyfriend, or her fiance, Ken, was made public. And in an article, Fancy Macell, or that's her stage name, but her actual legal name is April Johns. I'm not sure why she goes by Fancy, because literally she has a stage name, but she has no credits. In fact, she has no experience that I could find in anything to do with the entertainment industry. And so it's odd to have a stage name.
Okay, so Katie Joy is your stage name, or Without a Crystal Ball, whichever one, which you also don't have credit for being a journalist, is what you preach to the world. And you just stalk someone. Why does your audience need to know what her real name is? What benefit is going to come from that? People have stage names for a reason. Fuck. Like myself, I have my own stage name. I'd be fucking pissed off if, well, I am actually pissed off every time I rock up to do something and my real name is there, because I don't want that. So people like you interfering. Oh, yeah, I guess Bill. Oh, there you go. I think my brain might have just clicked to the on position. Cactus Bill, right? Stage name? Although, Katie, fuck that plant. Get rid of it, man. It's fucked.
Without a stage. But I digress. So April Johns was her name, but in the press, they called her Fancy Macell, and she was everywhere suddenly. I thought it was really odd, because for the longest time, the family seemed to speak for themselves. Generally, you would see direct quotes from Gypsy or from Christy or Rod Blanchard. Suddenly, around this spring, maybe it was, Fancy just started popping up in all of these articles, and I was like, who is this chick? Well, anyways, in July, she started quoting about how Gypsy was getting engaged and the family wasn't supportive, and the In Touch article made it seem like mom and dad, Christy and Rod, didn't want this to happen, and she also told them that Gypsy and Ken were planning to get married in January of 2020. Okay. So shortly after that happens, I report what was in the In Touch article. I talked just sort of about my own opinions about what I thought about Gypsy getting married without having any life experience, kind of what I thought might be good for her. Nothing like groundbreaking. I wasn't breaking the story. I didn't interview these people. It was really more just commentary on a story. That's what I do on my channel. And I had a comment from Fancy in my comments in the video, basically saying, hey, this is Fancy Macell. I would love to clear up some things that you have said incorrectly in this thing. And we've noticed that you do a lot of great work with MPB, and you've been covering Susan Schofield. And we'd be interested in potentially having you help us with our new series by proxy, and potentially have you maybe talk with Gypsy at some point. Okay, piqued my interest. However, I reached out to her. She provided me an email, and I never heard back from her. So I was like, well, I probably won't hear from her again. Not a big deal. No big whoop. I didn't pay attention to anything. Like I said, I don't go on to Facebook very often. I'm not in any groups. So I had no idea that behind the scenes, things were falling apart. And the things that were falling apart were that Gypsy and Christy Blanchard were separating from the by proxy production for a myriad of reasons.
Yeah, so in the interview, we found out that Fancy by proxy had befriended Christy, Gypsy Rose's stepmom, on purpose in order to get information. Or this is how I took it, because in my previous stream, which I recommend you watch before this, because they kind of linked. Well, they follow each other. This one follows that one. Yeah, I yelled at her a bit because I thought that was a bit wrong for her to cozy up to Christy and then get mad at Christy when she fucking put one and one together and figured out that fucking Fancy had only made, like, played, you know, pretended to be her friend to get information about Gypsy. It's fucking sick. Anyway, I was just thinking, yeah, either way, no matter what Fancy's story is, whatever she feeds Katie, Katie's going to swallow it. She's easily manipulated. And that Gypsy, maybe you could talk to Gypsy. Boom, that's the only bait she needs to use on the end of her fishing rod. Now I've got a picture of her with a fucking fishing rod. Katie, you too, wow.
And I had no idea. And so a couple weeks ago, when a story broke that Gypsy and Ken broke up, I simply reached out to Fancy thinking, well, maybe I could get a comment because she has, like, declared herself the spokesperson. And I didn't really expect, like, to hear back. I ask a lot of questions and not everyone responds. And she responded and she was just like, oh, no comment. She didn't tell me at the time that she wasn't working with Gypsy. She didn't disclose to me at that time that she was not
in cahoots. I don't know if that's the right word, but wouldn't it be up to you to maybe Google her and find out who she is, see if she really does have a connection, not for you just to assume that she is because that's the bait she used and you were like, oh, I'm going to take that. I'm jumping on this straight away. Oh, if she's got a stage name, she must be big. She must be close. Who am I to know any different? You know, it's not like I own a computer with Google.
Cahoots still with Gypsy and Christy.
I wasn't expecting her to use the word. Is that the only word that would have slotted in there? Oh, fuck, my mouth is dirty.
In fact, at the time, 2 weeks ago, she made no mention that she was no longer the spokesperson. So I was still under the impression that she was connected to the family. So I then sent her a message and let her know that my friend had been helping her do some stuff. And my friend and I had been working together on another case for Susan Schofield. I trust this friend tremendously. We've become, I would say, relatively close. And we talk a lot about these kinds of cases. We help each other. We give each other resources. And
is that Suzanne? No, but someone from Pathio's. Who's her friend that she's going to expose?
So my friend said, oh, they want to talk to you. They were thinking maybe you could help them. And so I said, oh, my friend said that you might want to talk to me. And she's like, oh, I didn't realize that was you. Yes, we still want to talk to you about this project. Again, did not tell me that she was no longer connected to Gypsy. This entire time, I'm still assuming she's connected to Gypsy. Had at this point I known that she wasn't connected to Gypsy, I would not have continued the conversation because I really didn't have an interest in being part of like a series that might or might not happen. That's not really what I
That's not really what I do. But what I do is exactly what they did to me. I do that to every single other person, Katie. Awareness would be great right now. You basically bait people to get interviews. You don't give them enough time to look you up because you preach a different side than what your credibility and all that shit, you know, when you vet someone, yes, that's totally different to what you think you are. The best journalist in the world. What happened to that white rug? Was it not white for long? For wrong?
I do. So a couple weeks go by and I don't really hear anything from her. And then she's like, well, would you like to talk? And so we set up a conversation and she's like, well, I can give you a call or we can do a Zoom conversation. I still at this point have no idea. How many times can I tell you guys? I have no idea she's not connected to the family. Not one. She never discloses this. And this is really unprofessional, by the way.
Do you have fucking brain? Why is it up to her to explain to you who she is? Why can't you go, oh, Do you reckon maybe she was just baiting me to try get me to do an interview because she dropped that I might be able to talk to Gypsy? Or have I just been working it up in my mind that I'm going to be able to talk to Gypsy? Oh my God, over and over and over. Not even caring if the truth is real. But then now that you've had a few weeks to think about it, must be her fault, really. Must be her fault. How many times do I have to tell you guys? Yeah. I was going to say something else, but no.
If you think somebody is coming to you because they assume that you're connected to the family and you believe that this is a source for you because of that, you should tell them you're not associated. But they decided not to. And so I agreed to this meeting when I really didn't have the time, by the way. I was dealing with a lot of other stories at the time. It wasn't something I could have spent my hour doing something more productive than what happened. And so I end up on a Zoom call, and within minutes, it starts to be recorded. I was never under the impression that this conversation was an interview, like they were interviewing me. I thought that this was just a dialogue of, hey, can we just talk a little bit about like what you do and who you are and like get an idea of like what.
If you actually watch the interview at the beginning, Fancy actually says that she's recording it. So Katie is not even listening, because Katie, at the time that she said that, Katie was looking at herself in the monitor, trying to see like which angle is better, like to tilt her head. Because if you look at her head, she tilts it so that it's straight, and it's fucked up her neck. Well, not only that.
Your project's about, like, that's really what I thought this conversation was going to be about. I didn't think it was like an interview that they needed to record. But suddenly they're recording the conversation without my consent. And by the time she tells me, it's already recording. And in that position, I'm not the kind of person that will rock a boat, but I thought it was odd. I'm like, why is she recording this? This is weird. So I was like, whatever, it's fine. But I knew
from the first few questions, you could tell that it was an interview. They introduced you. If you didn't know that was an interview, why the fuck did you stay on there for an hour and a half? By the end of it, you was like, oh, you girls are my new friends. We can hang out, we can call, we can talk about Gypsy over and over and over again. And like, we can pretend that we are friends of hers. Yeah.
in the back of the mind that this recording was going to come back to haunt me. And it did today. So through the conversation, it was an SHIT storm. I can't even tell you the level of unprofessionalism I was dealing with when I was talking to these people. So within minutes of talking to them, they're not only recording a conversation I didn't think that was recordable, then they disclose finally, she brings on a third person who I didn't know was going to be a part of the conversation. I thought this conversation was going to be just one-on-one, and it comes on to another person. I have no idea who she was. Her name was Brandy. Now, these two are nice enough women, but then they're like, oh yeah, so we're not working with them anymore. We actually had a mutual parting of ways. Okay. So I felt completely misled. But I'm a professional, and I felt like, okay, maybe there's a story here that I need to stay for. Maybe there's a reason I should stay and listen to this, because this might be a story that I need to know. So I felt completely misled. But I'm a professional, and I felt like, okay, maybe there's a story here. There's a reason I should stay and listen to this, because this might be a story that I need to know about. I, at this point, when she told me she was not connected, had zero interest in working with her, but I humored them and listened to them talk. And as I listened and talked with them, I realized very quickly that these two knew nothing about the disorder that they claimed to be doing a documentary on. I was like, wait a minute, your show is called By Proxy, but they knew nothing about Munchausen's by proxy, which I thought was weird.
And you didn't know much about autism. You think it's a negative thing. It was so disgusting what you said.
Like, how do you not know after 2 years anything about this disorder? And then they start asking me questions. And so they're like, well, isn't it like this? And isn't it like that? And I explain where I'm coming from, and I tell them what it's about. And I tell them about sort of how the women are that do this, because, and I say women because in 90% of the cases, it's a caregiver that's a woman. It's very, very rarely a man. And I was trying to explain to them how the systemic abuse and it's like a very mental and psychological abuse that the victims go through, that almost all the children that are a part of this become complicit and a part of the entire scam, not intentionally, but because mom or dad or whoever's doing this has them fearful of a punishment. And if they don't do it or follow the rules, then a punishment will happen. And so this is always how I've seen Gypsy. And in all the documentaries that they've done on her, and all the discovery and all the experts that have spoken out and worked with her, every single one of them have said that she's a product of a mother who had a borderline personality disorder, which is typically like Munchausen's by proxy and borderline are similar. They're not the same, but a lot of mothers that have it are both. Okay. And so Munchausen's by proxy and borderline are similar. They're not the same, but a lot of mothers that have it are both, okay? And so they lie.
Why are you so peppy? And then she jumps to the other side like, I don't know. That was a weird move. I feel like I need to slow it down, but for the first time, I don't want to.
They lie a lot. They lie so much that they don't know when to stop lying. And what happens for the kids is that the kids learn how to lie and manipulate because that's what they're taught. And they don't necessarily know that they're scamming. They don't know that they're lying because it's the only thing they know.
Exactly. In my opinion, it's a cycle. In my opinion, I don't know. I feel like, because from my point of view, I feel like you have narcissist traits, Katie. And I feel like that stems from your mum. She might have also been one, because you do talk about how she self-medicated for anxiety. And then you were the product of that. And then now that your son is the product of you. So he's learning how to lie and manipulate people to not do good, to cause harm, because you're the biggest teacher to him. And you might not be aware of your own actions and what you're doing. And well, really, all you do is fucking lie, and you've believed your own lies, in my opinion. You are the biggest believer of your own lies. No one out here believes your shit anymore, okay? Maybe there was a time there, but now we're just watching you. And I'm not talking in 2019 when this was. 2022, present day, yeah, we're just watching you chug a lug your own shit, because no one swallows that anymore except you. Where was I? Well, I can't remember, because now I just got a picture of you guzzling your own shit, and I don't want to be here, and I'm just going to press play, and this is what I do to myself. Yeah, you do have the shaved head in this. I'm talking directly to her like she's watching, but don't you, Katie?
And that's literally how they grow up. And in Gypsy's case, it was unique because she was kept away from every single mandated reporter. And that was strategic on the hands of Dee Dee, because she was able to keep the scam going on longer because she was a malingerer and depended on the income that Gypsy afforded her in her life. Without the income she received through Gypsy, she would have had to find another scam. So instead, she kept Gypsy isolated from everyone so she could continue to do what she needed to do to make the money she needed to make, which is two separate diagnoses, but can exist together. So a lot of people will say, well, this is a unique case. It's really not. I've seen a lot of these. I've seen them connected. Probably the biggest difference is that Gypsy actually killed her mother. But in some cases, these mothers end up killing their children. So in a lot of these cases, it ends up being literally kill or be killed. And that's why experts that were part of the case and that have done documentaries, and the individuals that were part of the HBO documentary Mommy, Dad, and Dearest talked a lot about Gypsy's sort of that juxtaposition of where she had to make a decision and she didn't feel like she had any other way out. Was Gypsy a liar? Yes. Was Gypsy a manipulator? Yes. Did Gypsy manipulate Nick? Yes. Did she lie to police? Yes. But she also didn't learn anything else. Her mother didn't educate her, and she was like a product of a very dysfunctional life.
Fuck. Like I said in the last stream, watching it with her son in my mind as she talks is so fucking disturbing. Because, yeah, he's been isolated away from his peers in a crucial time of development. Before the age of 10, he should have been socializing with his peers for normal brain development. And his brain has not developed properly, in my opinion, because she's kept him isolated for so long. And so deep down, I don't know if he loves you, Katie. Oh, no, doesn't he love Toad more? And he likes to point that out. Oh, Katie, you have no idea. Even in that interview when you said your son is easily manipulated into murder, he could be. Yeah, because you could be. That's why Swanson could feed you shit. Because you are easily manipulated. And it's happening again in present day, in my opinion. Different family members feeding you information. Whoever feeds you the most information towards your hate boner, boom, you believe them the most.
So I'm trying to tell them all of this, and they're literally telling me, nope, that's not possible. This is different. We know something totally different, you guys. We have seen everything here. We have all the documents. We have all the discovery, and we believe that Gypsy was complicit in this, and that Gypsy at some time became a part of this, and Gypsy was the person that was like the person that basically was the scammer at the end. She had all the control. She was controlling Dee Dee. She had all the power. Not possible. Absolutely not possible. Impossible, in fact. But I listened, and I tried to like give them the benefit.
You know, like I disagree with Fancy's point of view, but the way Katie explained it just then, can I just watch that again? It's because by the time Gypsy had, you know, got that like that idea that she was, you know, going to murder her mum and stuff inside, she had the control. Because like that's what it had been created in her. Oh, I don't think you understand. That's why, like, she just doesn't.
Was the scammer at the end. She had all the control. She was controlling Dee Dee. She had all the power. Not possible. Absolutely not possible. Impossible, in fact. But I listened, and I tried to like give them the benefit of the doubt. I asked them multiple times, well, have you had anyone come in, a doctor that specializes in MVP, to help you sort of understand the nuances of both the parent, the caregiver, and the child? Nope. In 2 years, they had never had any single person come in to teach them about this. Then they start talking to me about, which was like really weird to me, like, how are you 2 years into a project and you literally know nothing about the disorder? That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay. Then they start talking about Nicholas Godejohn, I'm sorry. And he has autism, right? And his diet, he has like an IQ of 82. And they start telling me that there's zero way that because he can speak really well and he comes off very smart, there's no way he could have been so easily manipulated. And he's not as like, he doesn't have the deficiencies that they claim, and he's faking it. And all of this is like fake. And he doesn't have dissociated DID, where the split personality disorder, none of that. That's all from BDSM. That's all his stuff. So basically, they were trying to lead me to believe that Gypsy and Nick were two of the biggest con artists in the entire world. This whole thing was done as a way for Gypsy to like literally be with Nick so she could get away from her dad, from her mom. Like, what? No, what's actually here going on is that I had to literally, they said to me, well, I said, do you know anything about autism? And they were like, well, isn't it like, I don't know, a neurological thing? And I was like, actually, it is a neurological disorder, but it's considered a developmental disability. And I said, do you know what his IQ is? And they said, yeah, I think it's 82. And I said, okay, so he has 82 IQ and he has what? ASD.
It just fucking shits me how her point of view is the only right point of view. Like, yeah, I disagree with what Fancy's point of view was because they didn't, but there's people in the world that think that too. This is what, Katie, I don't believe that you have been socialized, you have been socialized properly. I don't think you've been around people that can see things from a completely different side. And you're just so fucking my side. And that's why really you lack any social etiquette because you've never been around people.
Asperger's? Yeah. Okay, so he's extremely vulnerable due to his lower than normal IQ, with an ASD making his social functioning probably having processing speeds at a functioning level of around, I don't know, low 70s. Because
you don't know that. You don't know that. That's speculation. That's fucked, man. Because in my opinion, like, yeah, the way that I see autistic minds, like I just put them as like a higher intelligence we can't understand because we're so fucking dumb. And we see them as disabled. Oh, it fucking shits me. Katie, you shit me. You are not fucking... Oh, even I feel like Janelle would probably be more credible with her medical degree. That was, you know, just not real, but what is going on here? You just know? Everyone's different. And see how she just lowered his IQ because she presumed everyone has the same, like, oh, you shit me, man, you shit me. Not everyone has the same brain, Katie. We don't have frozen peas, by the way. No. We have great brains out here in the world, in the real world.
Typically children with autism, they don't have, especially on the ASD, like the higher end of the spectrum, they usually have pretty high verbal IQs, which is why you can understand that he can speak so eloquently, but it would take him a longer time to process and understand and remember, and he might have issues with rage and frustration because of that inability to process things. And in his Oxygen interview, he talked a lot about that frustration he felt, where it was like everything was going on in his life so fast around him and he couldn't always process everything, and he always needed extra time and he always had to relearn things. And that's really super common because working memory in individuals with autism is generally lower in the IQ. People with autism typically have what's called a split IQ or a splinter IQ, where they're really high in some places and really low in other places, and it makes them incredibly vulnerable, meaning he might appear very smart, but he's also extremely malleable and easily manipulated and also easily influenced. So someone who may or may not be naturally violent could be influenced to do something that they might not do because they really believe that they're going to help this person, or they really believe that this is going to get them their desired goal. And they said to me, well, would your son be convinced to do something like Nick? And I said, yep. And their mouths dropped open. They're like, what? You're like the first person that's ever said that. And I was like, what? How many people have you talked to that have kids with autism?
How fucking disgusting is that? To repeat it and believe that you are so fucking right. Where is your responsibility as a parent to raise your child to not be easily manipulated? Katie, you have admitted to not even educating your son or teaching him his alphabet, his numbers, singing songs, anything. Up until age 3, you denied him of all that because you were focused on trying to get him to eat. These are your words. I read them in your article. And then, fuck. You just said no fucking... Then you were like, oh, autism, that's the answer. You neglected him. You neglected to feed his brain when it was the sponge, when he could soak up the most information. Your child was nonverbal because you paid no fucking attention, in my opinion. There's videos of you feeding him. He's young, like 18 months, and you've got food on the tray of his like high chair, and you're sitting back filming it. Do you not feel like you need to interact and teach your child how to eat? Not once did you get in there with a spoon of, yeah, I've seen so many videos of you feeding him. Can't believe what you're feeding him. At the age, does it match up? It's almost like, I mean, what kind of mother just sits back and expects him to do it? You've contributed nothing. I mean, God, man. Like, you wasted those years, and they're so crucial for a child, especially contact with the mum. And now you're isolating him with no fucking awareness to the damage that is causing because he's missing out on the socialization with his peers. So again, his brain is going to be developing differently. Again, you're going to be continuing this cycle. You're easily manipulated. Your son will be fucking easily manipulated. This is fucked, man, because you don't care and you're not aware. All you want to do is fucking preach. And yes, this is 2019, but fuck, nothing's really changed. You're still sitting on your, I'm a doctor, look at me, I know more information than everyone. Fuck. Although you're worse now, like, oh my God, you should see how much you've aged in 3 years.
Kids with autism could be like convinced to eat paper or garbage out of a garbage pail. If you get them and influence them and manipulate them, they are so easy. And that's why they're considered vulnerable adults. And that's why we should be.
And that's why majority of them are like your subscribers and they're easy to manipulate. That was disgusting what you just said. If you get them, they're easy to manipulate. Who says that? Who says that? Like that, like you said that. Like it's a good thing.
Kids with autism could be like convinced to eat paper or garbage out of a garbage pail. If you get them and influence them and manipulate them, they are so easy. And that's why they're considered vulnerable adults. And that's why
She fucking manipulates him. In my opinion, why the need to fucking point at his room?
we should be kind to them and not do the person that's ever said that. And I was like, what? How many people have you talked to that have kids with autism? Kids with autism could be like convinced to eat paper or garbage out of a garbage pail. If you get them and influence them and manipulate them, they are so easy. And that's why they're considered vulnerable adults.
So if you know that, what have you done? What have you done to teach your son otherwise? Probably nothing. I reckon you might have fed into this. Might have used it as one of your fear tactics with your son. You have autism, you're easily manipulated. I wouldn't be surprised if you have spoken. I mean, I've never heard you speak about your son without bringing up that he's medically fragile, nor anything. Like, you don't talk about positivity. You don't tell him that don't be limited by anything. You don't speak as if he's going to leave your house. I mean, you've fucking renovated your house to set it up so that he can live there when he's a man. The whole basement is set out like an apartment. It's disgusting. You limit your child's brain development through your fucking negative words. You don't understand what negative words do, in my opinion, because you've never been no one. Yeah, everyone around you must be a victim. Fucking shit.
And that's why we should be kind to them and not do that kind of stuff. They didn't really understand that. They didn't seem to understand autism. They didn't understand Munchausen's. They didn't understand anything. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Then they start bashing Gypsy and Christy. And I'm like, what the hell did I just walk into? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. They're literally telling me that Christy is a fame whore, that all she's doing is for attention, that she does this to take trips, that she doesn't even care about Gypsy. Oh, then she says that Rod wanted nothing to do with her. And I was like, I would try to interrupt them and say, well, individuals like Dee Dee typically practice what's called alienation and isolation. And what they do is they usually are either married at one point and end up becoming separated, or they completely like put up a wall between their partner or the father in the caregiving. So the father is left completely out of the blue. They don't tell them anything. They push them out. If they stay in a relationship, the dad is just like out of the picture in terms of the medical care. But more often than not, in a lot of these situations, these women end up divorcing the fathers and separating the child and moving away, which is exactly what happened with Gypsy. And they kept saying, but this is such a different.
Well, it's what you did. You moved your husband out of your bed and put your son in there. So your husband might be the caregiver during the day and raise your son and all that, but then you take away the one thing that he loves the most, the one reason why he is staying with you. You take that at night to keep control, to remind him that you are in control, in my opinion, because he sleeps with the dogs. Fuck.
Different case. You don't understand. And I'm like, it's really not. It's actually pretty classical if you look at the diagnostics. They didn't want to hear it. They were like, well, you don't understand. We have all of this information. We know so much. This family is really bad. Like, and then they start talking about Hulu. And I said, well, didn't they already do a docuseries about Gypsy? Like, why are you guys going to do another one? Well, that one didn't really include Gypsy's story, and they fictionalize things. Okay, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, in my brain, I'm like categorizing all of this. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. They've already had Mommy, Dad, and Dearest. They've done a show on Oxygen. They've had 2020. They've been on Dr. Phil. They've had The Act on Hulu. Like, what more are you going to add to the story that hasn't already been shared? Literally. At this point, adding more stories for Gypsy just further exploits the story, muddies the water, and just doesn't allow this girl to like move on. Like, at some point in time, you kind of just have to let the chips fall, the dust settle, and just stop. Like, it's probably why, we don't like do movies about John Bonet or Eric Menendez or Scott Peterson. You just have to move on and just like let these people have their lives. But she's like, they're convinced that they have the secret. The golden ticket is what I think of it. It's like they are like the ones that are in Willy Wonka and they're like, I know the secret. I got the golden ticket. And it's like, it reminded me of like Jillian Epperly when she's like, cabbage juice will help you grow limbs. Like, we know something that you don't. No, you don't. What do you not? How did that? You're telling me that producers at HBO that have like skilled like time and effort and did like all this digging into the past of Dee Dee, knew everything about what was going on in her life, talked to Christy, talked to Rod, everything that was included. Like, how do you have how do you know more? How do you know more than Michelle Dean that did Hulu? How do you possibly know more? What, because you have a 4-hour interrogation of what, 3 years ago? Then they started explaining to me, oh yeah, the family's mad.
Probably the same reason why you think that you know everything about everything else.
That we released the 4-hour interrogation of him and the 12-hour interrogation of Nick, and they're mad about some photos that we put online. Anyways, long story short, this is such a mess. I'm like trying my best to just like get through this without like rolling my eyes, or I was trying to just sit there very stoically and engaged and professional, because I didn't want to like ruin anything, right? So they're like,
you were sleeping.
okay, when we're done, why don't you join our group on Facebook and then check out our page on Facebook, and then we can talk and maybe I'll give you an exclusive. And I was like, okay, you know, basically. Oh, and then the one thing that really sort of bothered me was, and this is the part that made me really think I needed to go follow the, you know, like when somebody's like Hansel and Gretel, they drop you a little like crumb. She said, Christy Blanchard is worse than Dee Dee. She is worse. She is manipulative. She could hurt someone worse than Dee Dee. And I thought, whoa, that's a bold allegation for someone that's literally never been in trouble. Weird. So I go into their group and I start seeing all these random lives, and they post everything. It's like, what the hell is this? They go live to talk about all the things that they know and dissect a crime that's happened like 4 years ago. And all they do is badmouth people that are on the other side. I find all these screenshots about like Gypsy and how like they don't like her. And
well, while you're taking a sip, and I decided this is a great time to get up and get a drink. Well, what were you saying? Should we rewind? I feel, oh, my ears just perked up. That's what you do, Katie. That's what you've been doing with this Von McRae case. Smearing with information that's not fucking relevant and is going to cause harm to the victim, Von McRae. I don't think you've ever felt, well, how could you without feelings? If you fucking had one fucking, no, I keep saying, if you had a little bit of fucking feeling, you'd know, you'd stop. She's going off that they went live to talk about any new update. You know what I was thinking after the live that we did on Monday of Katie still in the same position, still disrespecting Von and talking like trigger warning central. Like, instead, I should suggest that instead of her going live, she should just record herself and then watch it back. I think that might be a way that she could grow, because it's almost like she's doing the Dear Sally, today I blah, blah, blah. Is it Sally from Felicity? You know, the TV show Felicity? God, how good is it? Like, I found it recently again. Anyway, but I start watching when she cuts her hair. The recording, she does her Dear Diary. And yeah, Katie needs to do that, because I feel like that's what her lives have become, like her justification for what she's done in the wrong, and digging, and she's just unaware that this is her public, this is stuck to her for the rest of her life. That's her business. Oh, but I just, yeah, what's in your cup, Katie? Yeah, I didn't get to fill my cup up yet, so okay.
the things that they know and dissect a crime that's happened like 4 years ago. And all they do is badmouth people that are on the other side. I find all these screenshots about like Gypsy and how like they don't like her. And thank you guys all for your super chats. This is awesome. Thank you, by the way. I wasn't expecting this. This is really just me venting because today was a really ridiculous day. So anyways, I end up in the group and I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I see all this stuff about Christy and about Gypsy. And I'm like, there has got to be more to the story, way more. So I end up reaching out to Chris. Well, before I even sent a message to Christy, I did a background check on Fancy because I was like, well, something's got to be weird. So I find this like page called, I don't even remember, like Fake by Proxy by accident. And it had her real name, April Johns. So I was able to run a background check and I found out she had criminal convictions, like 12 evictions, like all kinds of like fraud in her background and non-payment and judgments. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I mean, I try not to judge people, but like not paying your rent 12 times and getting kicked out 12 times, that's like kind of a pattern. That's not like, I don't know, like, I just don't think that's okay. Like, I really hate people that don't pay their dues. I mean, I understand we all fall on hard times, but 12 times is excessive. And I see mugshots of her and I'm like, okay, this is like, okay, there's something going on here, right? And I'm like, this is weird. And then I try to Google her name to see if I can find anything.
Oh, you do use Google. I just want to clip this. That's all I needed to know. Why haven't you Googled your name? Oh, you think you would. Like, at least you would get results. Most of us, we don't get results. You would just get... I can understand how that would feed your ego when you're not living in the real world.
Related to the entertainment industry, an IMB or an IMD thing. All I see literally is like a page that she created that had 2 pre-production things that she said that she was creating that didn't have websites, that didn't have anybody involved in it, and that she was on a podcast that she self-produced and then worked with this other guy that produced another podcast. But in the world of like online media, that would be like me saying, I'm going to write the next book and fund it for you. I'm going to write the next like blockbuster and fund it for you. I'm just some YouTube journalist that happens to have a blog on Patheos, literally.
I don't know if that is even true. It's not. God, you're just an what? Online journalist? No, a YouTube on journalist? A YouTube brain, where are you? My brain is like, nah, that's the final straw.
Like, I'm nobody with this other guy that produced another podcast. But in the world of like online media, that would be like me saying, I'm going to write the next book and fund it for you. I'm going to write the next like blockbuster and fund it for you. I'm just some YouTube journalist that happens to have a blog on Patheos, literally. Like, I'm nobody in the grand scheme of things. Okay. So when I'm starting to figure out that this is not passing the sniff test based on what I'm seeing in the group, all of the extensive amounts of lives where it seems like this is all just a grab for attention and sort of.
Just clarity on the sniff comment. Are you a dog and smelling someone else's bum? Because that's when you try to realize, are they worthy or not? Or are we sniffing like you did before? Like, I don't know, was that a celebration and then you swallowed it?
Fame. I felt like she was maybe using the family and maybe a clout chaser that had convinced the family to do something that was never going to happen. Then I happened to have a friend who got involved.
Sorry, I just need to really jump in here and remind you that you did that to Andrew Glennon when you promised that you had contacts that would help him related to DV, that, you know, you had contacts just to get the story out of him. You manipulated him, became a friend of him, well, got really close to him. He didn't know, he didn't get a chance to see who you really were because he was, you know, getting manipulated by you. You were no one.
With this company. And I think I told you about that earlier. And through that, I sort of learned a few more things and I was like, okay, all right. I promised my friend I wouldn't drop anything, but I'm just going to say like, okay, yeah, wink, wink, wink. You guys should figure it out. And then I was like, all right, I have to reach out to Christy. Even if she doesn't respond to me, at least I have to like try to get the other side of the story, right? It would be completely irresponsible of me not to, because there's nothing publicly said by either party. So it's
oh, you're meditating now. But when you just like, if you wanted the story, just contact Chris to not bring up Fancy. Oh, but Katie needs to bring up, she brings her shit with her wherever you go.
It's like, I have to hear the other side of this. So I reached out to her and I said, listen, like, I'm Katie. I run a YouTube channel called Without a Crystal Ball. I'm a writer. I've been primarily moving towards my YouTube channel because it's just like way more fun for me. And she responded and she was super funny because like one of the very first things she said to me is, I knew who you were immediately. I've seen your videos on Love After Lockup. And I was like, that's hilarious. Like, who would have thought that like Christy Blanchard watched me just to like talk about like my gossiping about reality TV, right? Like, you never really know who's watching your stuff. And so she's like, yeah, I'm a fan. I watch your stuff. I really think you're funny. She's like, so as soon as I figured out it was you, I was like, of course I'll talk to you. And so then I start asking her some questions and she starts filling in some blanks for me and she tells me a few things. So I want to show you something. One of the things that, well, first of all, after I talked to Christy, well, actually, no, let's start right there. One of the things that Christy said to me, or that they said, Fancy and Brenda told me, was that I said, why did the Hulu thing fall apart? Like, why didn't they work with the family? And she said,
I don't think her name's Brenda. Is her name Brenda? Starts with a B, but I don't think it's Brenda. Anyway, so now whatever she says,
because Michelle didn't want to work with them because the family's crazy. Well, then Christy provided this to me, which is a screenshot of the family deciding not to work with Hulu.
Okay, let's have a little read here because we know that Katie doesn't have her glasses on ever and it's pretty clear. So, it says iMessage. So she's talking to her on a classic iPhone. Who's Michelle? Who's Hulu? Oh, was I meant to have been paying attention before? No, I'm just going to read the words. Michelle, after talking things over with Gypsy and Rod, we have come to an agreement as a family not to continue to take part in what you're doing with Hulu. Hulu. Sounded so weird. We feel like you're keeping us out of the loop and not asking us for any input or helping you make decisions based on this series. Oh, is this fancy? I thought anyway, don't listen to me because you guys know what's going on. I don't. I'm just the word sharer when I get there. I, Gypsy and Rod, feel like this is Gypsy's story to tell. And if anyone should tell this story, it should be her. I know this might be hard to hear because we are very pleased with your article in BuzzFeed. I hope you understand. Thank you. The Blanchards. The reply must be Michelle. Could we possibly talk on the phone? I'm so sorry I've made you feel this way. It's not been my intention. Mostly I've been a good person, but not now. It doesn't say
Not
that.
the other way around. And Michelle, Dean of the act, hoping to repair the relationship to move forward. There was some philosophical differences on the direction of the project that they couldn't agree upon, and so the family decided to cut ties. It wasn't Michelle that didn't want to work with them because the family was crazy. So that was one of the lies that she told me. She told me that everyone hates Ken, like Ken's super controlling, who's Gypsy's fiance. And so I said to Christy, I'm like, do you guys like Ken? And she's like, oh yeah, he's wonderful. He's such a nice guy. And I said, is he controlling? No. He's just got, he's sweet. He's really nice. He cares so much about Gypsy. They have such a nice relationship. He's really there for her. He's a friend that she needs. I said, do you have concerns in there? She's like, well, I think all parents have concerns.
Is it because she doesn't have any brain that she just shares one side, spews one side, then spews the other, but there's no thought process to put it and what's the truth, figure it out. It's not about believing. Am I making sense? I feel like I am. Katie, what's going on with you?
But Gypsy's an adult and she needs to make her own decisions, which I totally understand, like she hasn't had that opportunity. And they said, at this point, we just really want to support her. And then another allegation that they made was that Gypsy took no steps to get better and that she had somehow not been doing any psychiatric help in the prison, which I asked Christy, and Christy was like, well, no, I mean, she doesn't have the one-on-one care, but we're working on that right now with Dr. Phil to get a psychologist to come in at least once a week to help with her. But in the meantime, she's been taking different classes. She's been enrolled in anger management. She does a women's group. She's currently starting another group about something related to relationships, and then another one related to something else. So she's like,
oh, I just love how you just so dismissive, careless about really what therapy she's doing. If it doesn't involve that one-on-one, what importance is that? What are you moving position for now? Now we're back on the other side. Is there two personalities here?
It's not ideal, but we are hoping to find her more. And I said, oh, so it's not like she doesn't need anything. She's like, oh, no. She needs help. Yeah. And I said, well, do you think she's progressing? Is she getting better? She's like, yeah, she's getting better, but it's a work in progress. She went through a lot as a kid and it's not going to get changed overnight. She said she has changed so much between the time that she was arrested to today. And will continue to get better, but there's patterns of behavior that need to, you know, be squashed and relearned. And they were pretty honest about it, but they said they loved her, they supported her, they did what.
How do you know that they were being honest? How the fuck do you know that they were being honest? Just because you believe them, because it's a direct link. There's a battle going on between Fancy and Christy because, you know, they were at one point friends until Fancy was outed. You know, Christy used her marbles and was like, this chick's just fucking using me to get close for information, which is something that you do, Katie. Lindsay, Chris, yeah, ring-a-ding-ding. Also, Mackenzie from Teen Mum, ring-a-ding-ding, pushing that narrative in the defense corner for, you know, you were going at Macy, who's trying to protect her kid from fucking heroin addict father. And you're pushing that he should be able to spend more time with his kid. Because Mackenzie was your best friend. That was your voice. Is this what's been going on? Like, has there been no brain activity this whole time? Has she just been spewing the different sides? I don't know. Maybe my brain is just checked out and I've gone a bit,
whatever they could. And I said, well, are you and Gypsy, like, are you estranged? Because that was another thing they said. And she said, absolutely not. We've had some, you know, like anything, we had some disagreements, but everything is fine now. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then I asked, like, well, how involved was your husband? And did you know that Gypsy could walk? Did you know about all of these things? Because publicly, they had always said they didn't know any of these things. And Fancy and Brenda were adamant that the parents knew all of this, that Christy and Rod knew all of this, and that they just allowed Dee Dee to do this to her and did nothing to stop it. And she was like, Dee Dee really kept us out of the blue, like she really isolated us, didn't tell us very much. Their conversations with Gypsy were very high level. They didn't really have much of an idea. They knew she could walk as a child when she was really, really young, but they hadn't seen her walk in years. So when they saw her walk after she was arrested, it was shocking. After talking to Christy, I was like, she doesn't seem.
I think we all knew that, because I'm pretty sure, like, when she stood up in court, like, you know, it was worldwide news. I remember, like, the whole world was shocked. I'm pretty sure that would be when her family also found out that she was able to walk, like her biological dad and the stepmom, Christy.
Really that bad. I mean, like, I was like, well, what about this? Like, you're fame hungry, you're an attention seeker. And she's like, what? She's like, I got kids, I got stuff to do. Like, it's been really stressful. Like, my impression of Christy was more like, this is a family that's been thrown into a tornado, mixed into a typhoon, and slammed by a tsunami. I mean, imagine having to deal with the kind of attention that they have and navigate that with no media experience, and then navigate scammers, i.e. Fancy, to determine, like, who has the right intentions and who doesn't. It's pretty.
And then the bigger picture there is, like, you don't have any experience dealing with that. You have no credentials as a journalist, although you present yourself as that. And journalists are taught about how to interview people when there's certain, you know, really heavy subjects like death and homicide and all this. Like, fuck.
Easy to be taken advantage of when you're green. So after talking to with no media experience, and then navigate scammers, i.e. Fancy, to determine, like, who has the right intentions and who doesn't. It's pretty easy to be taken advantage of when you're green.
Oh, what was the last word? Did she say, was it grieving? I thought it was until I put it in slow. But yeah, that's what they teach you in journalism, is like how not to manipulate the fucking situation, how to be delicate with the situation, but still respectful, because there's people like you, Katie, that don't have boundaries and will, like, the knowledge, you as an ABUSER, in my opinion, I always spell that word because I love keeping your mind moving. And yeah, you that's a manipulation technique of yours. You prey on people that are grieving because they're easily manipulated. And it's like the fuck. And the most vulnerable as well. Why would you say that? Why are you praying? Actually, no, keep praying.
So after talking to Christy, I was like, all right. I did my stream. I talked about it. I tried to be really diplomatic, you guys. I didn't want to expose Fancy, even though I thought she was a total fraud. I didn't want to say that. I was going to be like, all right, like, this is one thing, this is the other thing. But then today, that happened. And this is when I got angry.
Okay, just to cut in, because I am the person that talks the real words. Anyway, so Katie's sharing on the screen a post by PROXY, and it says, we are in the process of uploading our entire conversation from Wednesday with Katie Paulson from Without a Crystal Ball on our YouTube channel. It should be up in about 15 minutes. We will post a link, and while we feel Katie was 100% wrong in how she handled the situation, we all feel that she was taken in. Hang on. We all feel that she was taken in by the ET quote fingers sweet Cajun. Oh, brutalized it. Cajun woman. That she reacted poorly. I don't get it. What does that mean? It becomes more and more clear every day that Christy very much had the hand in all the drama surrounding this case. What? You did. You buddied up to her. She's just trying to be a stepmom to Gypsy, and you're fucking interfering. Remember, I had this issue with you last time, Fancy, and then I was scared that you were going to hear me. I'm not scared no more. No, I've progressed. Fuck. It's so little. Toad, this is where I'm talking about you. Oh, sorry, I was laughing because of how real the situation was, Toad, for you. Anyway, it's heartbreaking for us. They supported her, blah, blah, blah. And then she shared DM with Katie. Oh, so Katie is the grey box. Is that? Yeah, Katie says, hi, Fancy. I'm Katie Paulson. I run Without a Crystal Ball. I know you are connected to Gypsy Rose. I read that she and Ken broke up. Do you have a comment from the family? Then they responded, at this time, no comment. Oh, there's a lot of grey comments here, Katie. You said you do question a lot and no one replies back. Here we go. Thank you. You had asked to connect with me from a video I made, something you wanted cleared up. Do you recall what that was? And then it's like, okay, my friend said you. Oh, I wish I had better eyesight. Look at your face. Yes, that's the right face for what I was reading out. There's a lot more grey there than there is blue.
Because she basically said that Christy manipulated me. And that it's so ridiculous what she's.
Oh, I'm just going to read it. Sorry. By PROXY, another post. Here it is, the entire conversation we had with Katie Paulson. Again, I think she was manipulated into making a bad choice. It happens to the best of us, especially dealing with massive manipulators. Well, I think what if Christy's a manipulator and it's just, what is going on here? And it's just bouncing the ball round. Remember when that used to be fun? Like you'd stand in the schoolyard just passing the ball around? Or was my school just so like we only had a ball for the whole school? We didn't. Can you imagine?
She says here, it's laughable for her to assume that I'm so easily manipulated, and it's insinuating that, you know, the Southern Cajun woman could somehow change my entire impression of her, and that I would suddenly stop wanting to talk with them, and I would flip the script so quickly. It had nothing to do with the fact that she lied to me to get me on the phone. She never disclosed to me that she was separated from the family. She recorded the call with no reason. She completely bashed Gypsy and Christy while I was talking to them, disregarded everything that I had to say about the disorder and all of my expertise in terms of covering cases like this. And then after finding 12 convictions and arrests and a massive storm of people that she has blocked or screamed at, or all the fights she's gotten into, it's like the most unprofessional mess I've ever seen in terms of a production. I've been around a lot.
And like it's the same shit show that's happening right now, like with Letitia just fighting back and forth, that trying to prove that she's right. Katie, just leave it alone. This was 2019. Wow. The river really runs shit. No, that doesn't go, but wow. Yeah. It's fucked, isn't it? It's just like, fuck, she just has not grown. Is still doing the same shit now. This is 2019. Whoa, is that 3 years ago? No, it can't be. Is it? Yeah. Is it? Or is it? No. Well, yeah, shaved head, blonde hair.
A lot of people in the media, and I've literally never seen anything like this. And I was like, this is the most unprofessional thing ever. And then to have my entire conversation over the course of weeks put on Facebook with the idea that we're going to post the entire.
I just saw the plus 17. Look down in the bottom right corner. 17 screenshots of the conversation. Oh, Katie, that's your whole friendship. 17. Yeah, they're low numbers because that's amped up now. I reckon that this is how she learns, though, from the cases that she covers. Like, she just learned, I don't know. No, I don't know.
Entire video of me talking to them, and that we feel that Katie was 100% wrong in how she handled the situation. We all feel that she was taken in by the sweet Cajun woman, and this is why she reacted so poorly. So she is saying that
Okay, but you're reading it and you're tensing your forehead muscles. You're taking it like she's attacking you, even though the words are like, I mean, she tries to play it like, hey, girlfriend, a lot of us, get it wrong sometime, but you're out for a fight. How dare she disagree with me? I'm the professor. I don't need to know Gypsy. I am Gypsy.
I'm reacting so poorly and don't like them anymore because Christy manipulated me, and I'm just so stupid that I couldn't figure out that she had 12 convictions and forged Gypsy's signature.
Oh shit. Am I Katie Joy? Ooh, as a transference, I've become you. Nah, I'm not blonde anymore. I once was though, Katie. Probably in 2019 when I watched this, I was blonde. But yeah, no, with my shape of my head, I know not to shave that side because it would just be, it'd be you. Wow, are we twins? I mean, we do. You have a Sony Discman and I have a Sony Discman, and you love Gilmore Girls and I fucking love Gilmore Girls, but you just missed the point of Gilmore Girls. Like, I hate your fucking theories and shit. Yeah, she's team the alcoholic dude, Logan. Yeah. I know. I'm team, like, for mine to become true, there's a bit of incest.
Because I have that too, girl. Then she posted my entire interview with them that, again, I did not know was going to be recorded until the very minute it was recorded. And then forged Gypsy's signature. And how she handled the situation, we all feel that she was taken in by the sweet Cajun woman and this is why she reacted so poorly. So she is saying that I'm reacting so poorly and don't like them anymore because Christy manipulated me and I'm just so stupid that I couldn't figure out that she had 12 convictions and forged Gypsy's signature.
Holy shit, like her head is like, what's happening here? No, like, look at the tilt of her head. Have I smoked the wrong thing tonight? Have I gone too far when I went to get a drink from the fridge and I didn't get a drink? Oh, I didn't get a drink. Katie, that was slow motion horror. That was fucking intense. I feel like if you're able to bully and like this level to a woman that you disagree with, I kind of like, you must do this to your son or something, like, just this kind of I don't even know what it is because it's so low. It's just so school. I think it's hard for me, Katie, because Katie, I'm almost 40. I know I don't sound it, but from watching you, I'm so much more mature. Like, it doesn't take much. And I forgot where my thought process was going.
Because I have that too, girl. Then she posted my entire interview with them that, again, I did not know was going to be recorded until the very minute it was recorded.
Exactly, Farah. I don't know why you look like Farah in slow motion. I know this is my vision right now. Katie, at the beginning of this interview, you can clearly hear Fancy say, by the way, this is recording, or I'm recording now. The start of the recording, she makes a fucking statement. But you, like I said, were looking into the monitor to see whether you were looking good, you were stroking your hair, getting ready for your big interview. You went in there knowing that it was an interview. It's the same shit with Beast Boy. Do you think just talking to someone online, they're not going to fucking record it? Because Katie, that's what, even if you were to do an interview that would be recorded, then you go back and you write it up, you edit out all the, gaps where you should be making some realization, but you're not. You're really just mopping the ceiling.
Yeah, this is all on here. And that video is on YouTube, you guys.
She always directs them where to go. I know it's in slow motion and I've got to fucking faster it up. But she didn't have any control. She thought she did because they first removed it because she arced up about it. I didn't want that out. How dare you? Or she might have copyright striked it or something. I don't know. But now it's back up. Look at her looking beautiful. Oh, it's the same couch. Nothing's changed.
Making me look like I'm some pansy that doesn't know how to do research and easily influenced.
Oh! Well, that's a golden fucking moment, and I'm so glad that was in slow motion. You're looking right down the barrel too, first time in your life. That's yes. Whatever's going on, yes.
Guys, making me look like I'm some pansy that doesn't know how to do research and easily influenced. No.
Well, you wouldn't know because it takes self-awareness to know that kind of shit. Yeah, so you can lie to yourself, say no, just how you've lied to yourself and told yourself that you don't show any signs of MBP.
When I saw that, I was like, bitch, hold my beer.
So then I was like, well, let's talk about the things that she said, please. This is why I don't think that anyone should work with her in terms of, well, not anyone. I wouldn't say anyone. I mean, some people will want to work with her, but this is why I feel the family might not have wanted to work with her. Here is something that she said. Like everything she does or not.
Yeah, we're skipping ahead because Katie's holding my beer. Fuck, hold my beer? Why not water? Hold my sippy cup. Hold my plastic straw. Oh, yeah. You really do need love is love pillows.
Hell, she's doing her best. And isn't that what we should want out of a mother? We should want her to do the best that she, like everything she does or not. Hell, she's doing her best. And isn't that what we should want out of a mother? We should want her to do the best that she can, given the circumstances she's in. And if you were in that same situation, can you tell me how you would handle it? You can't, because you've never been in that situation and you probably never will. So be kind, offer her some grace, and stop judging every single thing this family does. Let Gypsy make mistakes. If you don't think it's okay for her to be with Ken, fine. It's not going to matter to her, and your opinion isn't going to influence her. Gypsy is 28 years old. She needs to grow up. She needs to make her own choices, and she needs to stumble and fall and learn. And that's exactly what Christy said to me on the phone. If she doesn't stumble and learn and we all prevent her from making mistakes, she's never going to grow. And I think that's all we want. We want her to grow, we want her to develop, and we want her to become a productive member of society when she's released from prison. So let's all just keep doing what we can do and stop the fighting and stop the drama and stop the obsessiveness around the story. It happened 4 years ago. It's not going to change anything, and trying to find something new that's not there just makes it into a conspiracy in which it's not.
And then that makes me question why you would hash on about this and make a video about it. If that's your end game, your ending words, like you just added more shit to it and then said at the end, let's not add shit to it. Okay. You know, but we got far more. We got far more than you know. Are you going to do some peace out? Because I don't want to miss it.
I appreciate all of you that have come on and listened to this and heard me speak my truth. This is not a typical thing that I do. I try to stay out of these kinds of messes. And even though I'm frustrated, I still won't stoop to the level that they will. And I won't release the things that they've said to me, because they've literally put all of the information out there without my consent, but I'm not going to have them take it down. I'm just going to let them show and be further proof of the shit show that by proxy has created.
Oh, I paused it in a weird spot. This is the climax really for me. The peace sign is what I look forward to. My brain's back. It's sitting front row. It's alert. This is what we want. We are here. Should we put it in slow-mo? Just for, fuck it. Should we? Yes, we are. We're going to put it in slow-mo just to be that little bit extra annoying, because that's who I am. And fuck Katie. Okay, you ready?
Bye, guys.
Oh, your squares and that they don't have stuff in there. Oh, there's no stuff in your squares. What are you doing, PAULSON? What's this? I don't want to fast forward. Oh, would that be your picture in the kitchen? Okay. Okay. I just want to stay here forever. This is a really good feeling. I get a really good feeling with your end screen. I don't know what it's like I've had a coffee. My brain's back, ready for our night. I was a bit scared there for a minute, mashed potatoes, but what your ending does for me, Katie, yeah, lifts me to those higher limits. So who else is anyone still here? Oh, that piece out in slow-mo though. Oh, I don't know. The two fingers, like she actually separates her fingers. I don't know, but I want to see if I do. Like what I want to do a peace sign one time, and then I'm going to look at it in slow-mo and see what my finger process goes through, whether I start with them together. I don't feel like I'm a starter together fingerer. Oh, that's awful, isn't it? Oh, this is what it's come to. I thought my brain was back, but no, my mouth has just fucked it for everyone. Oh, Angel Cake. Yes, shout out to you tonight, Cacti contributor, but it just felt like cake, like so much cake. And did you, I don't know, you might have answered the question, but is your name from, oh no, is it Angel Cake in The Sims, in Sims 2? I swear there's an Angel Cake recipe. But, you know. Oh, I'm just going to go to chat and see, because I'm like, how can we conclude here? I don't know. It's 2019. What was it? September 7th. And also, I think that there's another video that she did. Hang on, because there's 3, but I didn't know if one of them was, well, how do I go back? Oh my God, I'm so confused when I have to search on your page.
They were helping Jana.
Oh my God. What was that? What automatically plays when you go to her? Look, you guys need to see this. I'm pretty sure that it was Josh's voice or Jim Bob, but when you go to her page, this thing starts automatically playing. What did I come here for? And then it throws you off because you didn't come here for that. You came here for a reason. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. Look, no use wasting any more time in that part of the neighborhood. I feel like we've done enough damage to our brains. Let's just come back and breathe. It's the exact same shit, really, that's happening. Fighting with people, fighting with other creators. But she's really going for it, though, with Molly Go Lightly. Like she's obsessed. Like too obsessed. Yeah, there's other stuff that has come out. Like I've shared it on my Twitter. You can go check it out. I think it's under because I've got the MVP post pinned, and I think it might be the first post. It's like a thread. Because I was on Katie's Facebook the other night. You know, when I can't sleep, I scroll her Facebook, and in the comments, it's like, this my whole life, like I'm a fluke artist, like shit just falls in my lap, and I'm like, that there is how you get it. You work hard and then it just falls in your lap. And yeah, like, so I was watching someone commented, and then should we go there? Should I throw it on the end here? I might do a little separate video and post it on my channel. But yeah, basically it caught Katie's sock account, which led to something else. And then, yeah, I'll talk about it in a video. So you can look out for that. Yeah. Thanks so much to everyone rocking up in chat. This was a long one, but, you know, what are you going to do? Fuck, I've got to go put timestamps on it. Please like this video, this stream. Subscribe, come be a cacti, come hang out with us. We're just going to go through Katie's videos. And really, I want to stay away from Katie covering anything to do with Von McRae. I don't feel good passing her shit on. Like, she's smearing the family, like posting stuff that should not be posted. And I just don't feel like I should, that I don't want to put that out in the universe. It shouldn't be, because I just can't stop thinking about Von in both cases. Like, I can't stop thinking about her son. And, in certain, like, when I watch shit like this, in the whole big realm of shit. And then also can't stop thinking about Letitia's son. It's just so, the respect that Katie doesn't have. But we all know that. Nothing's changed 3 years later. I'll see you guys on Friday. But, just be wary of the information that you retweet or reshare. And just, I don't know, just think of Von. I feel I didn't even know the development of the story because I've checked out that much. But, yeah. Okay, guys, take care. And, it's a fucking crazy world. I'll see you guys on Friday. Thank you, and good night. And now I need to find the end button. But this is my story. I'm a good singer. I know I am.